got to say goodbye to you because we're going to talk about bills and another consumer story, because this Saturday we'll see a number of your expenses going up.
Yeah, 1st of April, April Fool's Day, but it's no joke. We will see price increases for broadband, water, taxes and even NHS prescriptions.
So, can you beat that pinch? Consumer rights expert Martyn James joins us now. Didn't even know, and they sneak it in on a Saturday, Martyn, as well.
Yes, welcome to Awful April, as it's been christened this year. And, I don't want to depress anyone listening, but it pays to actually be aware of kind of some of the problems that we're going to be facing. So realistically, we're looking at increases in energy bills, and that's because that £400 government support network that we had beforehand actually has come to an end. That £67 payment that we've been getting every month means that even though the government's frozen its energy price guarantee, the fact of the matter is most of us will see an increase in bills. But we're looking at big increases in broadband, mobile phone costs, council tax, water bills. Some of these things we're stuck with and some of these things we're not, but we can find ways around them.
About negotiating, do you have to accept, Martyn, what comes your way? So if they say that your broadband charges are going up, for instance, do you just say, OK, right, I'll accept that? Or can you haggle?
Well, some companies, are absolutely terrible at customer service, never mind kind of being negotiated with. But it does pay to kind of know a little bit about your rights with these things. With broadband and mobile phone increases, we're looking at an average of about 14% on each of those. That's 28% collectively increase in what mid-contract. Now, the fact that these companies are allowed to do this is something that the regulator Ofcom is looking into, but that doesn't really help us right now. With two of the big ones, I think it's Sky and Virgin, they actually have clauses in the contract which says they have to notify you in advance. So if you're listening to this now, you will have a very tight window where you can phone up and complain. So you might possibly be able to get around it under those circumstances. But 20 million of us are actually out of contract with these deals, and we don't realise. And it's possible to actually move to another provider and halve your bills. I mean, I cut mine down from a ludicrous 90-odd quid to 40 quid just by moving to a different provider. So it's definitely worthwhile doing. If you want to get out of a contract mid-term and you're stuck with it, negotiation probably isn't going to help too much. But remember, we all moan about terrible broadband service, for example. So if your service is rubbish, that firm is in breach of contract. So turn detective, record your speeds, use some of the free apps to actually record what you're getting and make a complaint. Under those circumstances, you could potentially get out of the contract without paying a hefty exit fee. So even if negotiation doesn't work, if the company's not meeting its part of the deal, you might be able to get away.
So that's some of the commercial hikes, but we're also seeing some of the things, as you say, like council tax going up. And I suppose people forget, actually, we've got local elections coming up. People can vote with their feet on this. I think Labour, for example, today, they're going to be announcing a freeze on council tax if they get in.
Well, absolutely. I mean, there's nothing worse. Council tax and water bills, we're pretty much stuck with them. There are a few little things that you can do. So it seems startlingly obvious, but most of us are paying our council tax in chunks of 10 over the year. You can actually ask your local council to divide that up into 12 instead. And even though it's not a massive reduction, it is something that you wouldn't have got otherwise. If you go onto the government website as well under council tax, there's actually a startling array of discounts, not just the single person one that most of us know about. There are a range of discounts depending on your profession, if you're a carer, lots of other things. It doesn't have to be about being in receipt of benefits. So have a look on the council to see if you qualify. And there are even kind of the possibility of getting rebates if your property has been put into the wrong band. It's ludicrously complicated, but you can actually just apply to your council website if you think that you're in the wrong band. Now, with water companies, there is the big question about whether to go onto a water meter. So if you're single or it's just you and your partner and you live in a smaller property, it might actually be beneficial to do that. Of course, if you're a bigger family, you live in a bigger property, it makes sense to go with the estimated one. But you can still get that bill down that way.
Martyn, great advice. Thank you for making us aware of all that's going to go on. Practically everything's going to go up from Saturday. National Price Hike Day, April the 1st.